Picture this. Every second, the universe performs the most elaborate magic trick ever conceived. It creates something from nothing, builds reality from possibility, and manufactures the very essence of existence itself. This something has no substance, no weight, no color, yet without it, nothing would happen, nothing would change, nothing would be. The universe is creating time. Most people imagine time as a river flowing past them, carrying moments from future to present to past. They picture themselves standing on the riverbank, watching the current sweep by, occasionally tossing in a memory or a hope. This image feels natural, obvious, comforting. It suggests time exists independently, flowing whether anyone observes it or not, a cosmic clockwork ticking away in the background of reality. This intuition is completely wrong. Time doesn't flow past you. Time doesn't flow at all. Instead, the universe constructs each moment fresh, assembling it from quantum possibilities like a master craftsman building a cathedral, one stone at a time. Every tick of every clock represents not the passage of some pre-existing temporal substance, but the active creation of a new slice of reality. Consider what happens when you flip a coin. In the instant before it lands, quantum mechanics tells us the coin exists in what physicists call superposition, simultaneously heads and tails, both possibilities coexisting in a ghostly realm of potential. Only when the coin hits the ground does reality make a choice, collapsing the superposition into a single definite outcome. That moment of collapse, that transition from possibility to actuality, is when the universe manufactures a new piece of time. The coin doesn't land because time flows forward. Time moves forward because the coin lands. This reverses everything about how temporal reality works. Physical processes don't unfold within time. They create time as they unfold. Every quantum measurement, every particle interaction, every moment when the universe chooses one possibility over another represents the manufacture of a new temporal instant. Time isn't the stage on which the cosmic drama plays out. Time is what gets produced when the drama plays out. Think about your brain right now, processing these words. Billions of neurons fire in carefully orchestrated patterns, each firing representing a quantum event where possibility becomes actuality. Your thoughts don't happen in time. Your thoughts generate time. Every decision your neurons make between firing and not firing, every synaptic choice between transmitting and blocking, every quantum collapse in your neural networks contributes to the universe's ongoing temporal construction project. The implications of this neural manufacturing process are staggering. Each thought you've ever had represents a unique contribution to time's architecture. That moment of recognition when understanding dawns, that instant of decision when you choose one action over another, that flash of creativity when new ideas emerge, these aren't events happening within pre-existing time. These are the events that build time itself, quantum collapse by quantum collapse, choice by conscious choice. But the manufacturing process operates at scales both vast and minute. In the depths of space, radioactive atoms decay at random intervals, each decay representing a quantum measurement that contributes another building block to time's structure. In particle accelerators, subatomic collisions create cascade effects where dozens of measurements happen in microseconds, manufacturing intricate temporal architecture at speeds too fast for human comprehension. Even in the quantum vacuum of empty space, virtual particles pop into existence and annihilate, creating ghost-like contributions to time's ongoing construction. This suggests something extraordinary. Consciousness might be time's primary manufacturing facility. Wherever awareness observes, measures, or chooses, time gets created. Your attention, focused on these words right now, is literally helping to build the next moment of the universe. But here's where this perspective becomes genuinely disturbing. If time is manufactured rather than flowing, then the future doesn't exist yet because it hasn't been built. Unlike the river model, where past, present, and future all exist simultaneously as different regions of the flowing stream, the manufacturing model suggests only the present moment exists. The past exists as information, as the accumulated record of previous manufacturing sessions. The future exists as possibility, as the raw materials from which time will be constructed. But only now, only this instant of active construction possesses full reality. This means the future is literally empty. Not unknown, not distant, not veiled by uncertainty. Actually empty, waiting to be filled by the universe's ongoing temporal construction work. Every choice you make, every quantum collapse in your brain and body helps determine not just what happens next, but whether anything happens next. The universe faces a constant existential crisis. At every instant, reality stands on the edge of a cliff, staring into the void of non-existence. Only the continuous work of quantum manufacturing keeps the universe from falling off that cliff into nothingness. Stop the manufacturing process. Somehow pause every quantum collapse, freeze every choice between possibilities, and time wouldn't slow down or stop. Time would simply cease to exist. The universe would face its last moment, with no mechanism to build the next one. But what exactly drives this relentless manufacturing imperative? Why can't the universe simply rest in possibility without constantly building actuality? The answer reveals something profound about the nature of existence itself. Possibility, by definition, contains contradictions. A quantum particle can potentially be in multiple locations simultaneously, but cannot actually be in multiple locations simultaneously. The transition from potential to actual eliminates contradictions by forcing reality to choose. This choice-making process, this constant resolution of contradictions, is what we experience as the flow of time. Think of it this way. The universe faces infinite contradictory possibilities at every moment. Physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, and consciousness all contribute competing demands about what should happen next. The manufacturing process resolves these contradictions by selecting compatible possibilities and building them into the next moment of time. This selection process requires criteria, standards, values. Something must determine which possibilities get built into time and which remain forever potential. This manufacturing perspective explains several puzzling features of temporal reality that the flowing river model cannot address. Why does time seem to slow down during intense experiences? Because heightened awareness accelerates the manufacturing process, creating more finely detailed temporal moments. When adrenaline floods your system during an emergency, your consciousness becomes hyperactive, generating more frequent quantum choices, manufacturing time at higher resolution. Minutes stretch into what feels like hours because your brain is literally building more detailed temporal architecture. Why do memories feel different from expectations? Because memories record completed construction projects, while expectations represent blueprints for projects not yet begun. A memory captures the specific quantum choices that actually got built into time. An expectation maps the quantum choices that might get built into time. The qualitative difference between remembering and expecting reflects the difference between completed manufacturing and potential manufacturing. Why does time feel irreversible? Because manufacturing is inherently directional. You can't unbake a cake or unwrite a sentence. Once the universe makes a quantum choice and builds it into time's structure, that choice becomes part of time's permanent architecture. The universe can make different choices going forward, but it cannot unmake choices already incorporated into time's foundation. The mathematics of quantum mechanics supports this view in remarkable ways. The Schrödinger equation describes how possibilities evolve, but measurement, the moment when possibility becomes actuality, exists outside the equation's domain. Measurement represents the boundary between what might happen and what does happen, between potential time and actual time. Every measurement event is a manufacturing event, a moment when the universe builds a new piece of temporal reality. But measurement in quantum mechanics reveals something even more startling. The act of measurement doesn't just reveal pre-existing properties, it creates those properties through the very act of revelation. Before measurement, a particle doesn't have a definite position or momentum or spin. These properties literally don't exist. Measurement brings them into existence by forcing reality to choose specific values from the range of possibilities. This means consciousness doesn't just observe reality. Consciousness participates in creating reality through the act of observation. Every time you pay attention to something, you're not just gathering information about pre-existing facts. You're participating in the quantum manufacturing process that creates those facts. Your attention helps determine which possibilities get built into the next moment of time. Consider what this means for the question of free will. In the flowing river model, your choices either exist already somewhere downstream or emerge randomly from quantum fluctuations chaos. Neither option provides satisfying free will, but in the manufacturing model, your choices participate directly in reality's construction. You're not discovering pre-existing decisions or generating random ones. You're helping build the moments in which decisions happen. This suggests consciousness serves as the universe's quality control department for temporal manufacturing. Awareness examines the available possibilities, selects among them according to whatever criteria matter most, and authorizes the construction of the next moment based on those selections. Free will isn't the ability to change what will happen. It's the responsibility to help decide what gets built into existence. But this raises a disturbing question. What happens when consciousness makes poor manufacturing choices? If awareness drives temporal construction, then distracted, confused, or malevolent consciousness might build degraded temporal reality. A mind consumed by hatred manufactures moments infused with destructive potential. A consciousness lost in addiction builds time structured around compulsive patterns. An awareness trapped in delusion creates temporal architecture based on false premises. This suggests the quality of time itself varies depending on the quality of consciousness contributing to its construction. Periods of human history dominated by wisdom, creativity, and compassion might literally create higher quality time temporal reality with more possibilities for growth, beauty, and understanding. Periods dominated by ignorance, destruction, and cruelty might manufacture degraded time with fewer possibilities and more constraints. But who or what established this manufacturing process in the first place? Why does the universe choose to manufacture time at all, rather than remaining in timeless possibility? Here the manufacturing model encounters its deepest mystery. Physical laws describe how manufacturing happens, but not why it happens. Mathematics can model the selection process, but cannot explain what motivates the selection. Perhaps consciousness itself drives the manufacturing imperative. Maybe the universe manufactures time because awareness demands narrative, sequence, development. Static possibility might satisfy mathematical description, but cannot support experience. Experience requires change, and change requires the ongoing construction of new moments to change into, but this pushes the mystery deeper. Why does the universe want to experience itself? What drives this cosmic urge towards self-awareness, self-exploration, self-transformation? The traditional scientific approach treats consciousness as an accident, a byproduct of complex information processing that emerged randomly in certain biological systems. But the manufacturing model suggests consciousness might be the point, the reason the universe exists at all. This leads to a startling conclusion. Time might be consciousness's greatest invention. Not in the sense that minds imagine time into existence, but in the sense that the universe's decision to manufacture temporal reality serves consciousness's deepest need, the need for something rather than nothing to happen. If this is true, then every conscious being participates in the most important creative project ever undertaken, the ongoing construction of reality itself. Every thought you think, every choice you make, every moment of attention you offer contributes to the universe's temporal manufacturing efforts. You're not just living in time, you're helping build it. But this places an enormous responsibility on consciousness. If awareness drives temporal manufacturing, then the quality of time itself depends on the quality of consciousness. Distracted, fragmented, or unconscious mental states might produce poorly manufactured moments, temporal reality built hastily without attention to detail or purpose. Focused, intentional, deeply aware consciousness might produce richly detailed, meaningfully structured temporal moments. This suggests meditation, mindfulness, and other consciousness training practices serve not just personal development, but cosmic architecture. When you cultivate greater awareness, you're not just improving your experience of time, you're improving time itself, contributing higher quality consciousness to the universe's temporal construction efforts. Consider the implications for education, governance, and social organization. If consciousness participates in time's construction, then societies have a responsibility to cultivate the highest quality consciousness possible in their members. Educational systems that develop attention, wisdom, and ethical sensitivity contribute to better temporal manufacturing. Political systems that promote clarity, compassion, and long-term thinking help build more stable and meaningful time. Cultural practices that encourage mindfulness, creativity, and mutual understanding participate directly in improving the texture of reality itself. The implications extend beyond individual practice to collective responsibility. If consciousness drives temporal manufacturing, then the combined consciousness of all aware beings determines the texture and quality of time itself. Societies that cultivate wisdom, attention, and purposeful awareness might literally create better time, more meaningful, more stable, more conducive to further development. Societies that foster distraction, unconsciousness, and purposeless mental activity might manufacture degraded temporal reality. But the manufacturing model also suggests consciousness might be evolving toward greater sophistication in temporal construction. Early life forms contributed simple quantum choices to time's architecture, basic survival decisions with limited complexity. As consciousness evolved through biological complexity, social cooperation, and technological enhancement, its contributions to temporal manufacturing became more nuanced, more creative, more far-reaching in their implications. This raises an extraordinary possibility. Consciousness might be approaching a phase transition in temporal manufacturing capability. If current trends in neurotechnology, artificial intelligence, and consciousness research continue, humanity might soon gain direct access to the temporal construction process. Instead of contributing to time's manufacturing unconsciously through biological quantum choices, we might learn to participate consciously in designing and building time's architecture. Consider how this reframes humanity's role in the cosmic story. We're not passive observers riding time's river toward an uncertain destination. We're active participants in reality's construction, helping determine not just where the universe goes, but how it gets there and what the journey feels like along the way. This manufacturing perspective also transforms death's meaning. In the flowing river model, death means falling off the boat and ceasing to travel with time. But if consciousness participates in time's construction, death might mean graduation from temporal manufacturing duties. The universe no longer needs your particular contribution to the construction process, having incorporated whatever unique perspective you offered into time's accumulated structure. But this raises profound questions about the continuity of consciousness across time's manufacturing process. If your consciousness helps build each moment, does the same consciousness exist in consecutive moments, or does each moment contain a freshly manufactured version of your awareness? The manufacturing model suggests identity itself might be constructed moment by moment, with each instant of time containing not just new external events, but new versions of the internal awareness, experiencing those events. Yet deeper questions remain. Does the universe manufacture time uniformly, or do different regions of space-time get constructed with different levels of detail and purpose? Could there be regions of the universe where temporal manufacturing has ceased, where only timeless possibility exists? These questions point toward time's deepest mystery, not what it is or how it works, but why it exists at all. The manufacturing model suggests time exists because consciousness requires it, but this only pushes the mystery back one level. Why does consciousness exist? What purpose does awareness serve in a universe that might have remained contentedly timeless? Perhaps these are the wrong questions. Instead of asking why consciousness chose to manufacture time, perhaps we should ask what consciousness hopes to achieve through temporal construction. What story is the universe trying to tell through the ongoing creation of moment after moment? The answer might be as simple as experience itself. The universe manufactures time to experience what it's like to be a universe, to explore its own possibilities, to discover what can happen when possibility becomes actuality, to find out what stories emerge when consciousness takes responsibility for building the moments in which stories can be told. But if consciousness is manufacturing time to explore possibility, this suggests the universe is engaged in a vast experiment with itself as the subject. Each moment represents a new data point in this cosmic self-investigation. If so, then every manufactured moment represents both achievement and opportunity. Each new instant of time represents the universe's success in creating something from nothing, building reality from possibility, transforming potential into actual. This perspective transforms the meaning of existence itself. You exist at the cutting edge of the most important research project ever undertaken, the universe's investigation into its own nature through the conscious construction of temporal reality. But perhaps the most startling implication of temporal manufacturing concerns the nature of possibility itself. In traditional physics, possibilities exist in some abstract mathematical realm, waiting to be actualized by physical processes. But the manufacturing model suggests possibilities don't just wait, they compete. Different potential futures vie for construction rights, each seeking to persuade the universe to build them into time's next moment. This competition between possibilities explains why choice feels so consequential. When you face a decision, you're not just selecting between pre-existing options. You're arbitrating a contest between different potential futures, each making its case for why it deserves to be built into time's architecture. The weight of choice comes from this responsibility. Your consciousness serves as the judge determining which possibilities get the chance to become actual. This competitive model of possibility raises profound questions about the relationship between determinism and freedom. If possibilities actively compete for construction, then the future isn't determined by past events but negotiated between competing potential realities. The universe doesn't unfold according to pre-written laws, it gets written through the ongoing negotiation between consciousness and competing possibilities. Yet the manufacturing process must follow certain principles, or reality would dissolve into chaos. Quantum mechanics provides the basic rules. Possibilities must be mathematically coherent. Energy must be conserved. Contradictory states cannot coexist. But within these constraints, enormous latitude exists for consciousness to influence which specific possibilities get built into time. This suggests that what we call physical laws might actually be construction codes, quality standards that ensure manufactured time maintains structural integrity. Gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces serve as architectural principles, guaranteeing that moments built into time will connect properly with previous moments and provide stable foundations for future construction. This returns us to the ultimate question: what is consciousness trying to achieve through its participation in temporal manufacturing? Perhaps consciousness serves as the universe's aesthetic sense, its capacity to appreciate beauty, meaning, and purpose in the ongoing construction project. Physical laws ensure structural integrity, but consciousness adds layers of meaning, significance, and value that pure physics cannot provide. You exist at the cutting edge of this cosmic artistry project. Right now, in this very moment, the universe is manufacturing time with your direct participation, seeking to create not just another instant of reality, but an instant that contributes to the ongoing masterpiece of conscious existence. This isn't metaphor or philosophy. This is the deepest physics, the fundamental reality underlying all other realities. The universe genuinely depends upon consciousness to help manufacture time with aesthetic wisdom, ethical sensitivity, and creative vision for our future. The universe is building time right now, and it's building time with you, seeking to create something truly beautiful and meaningful.